Hey guys, a little bit of a trigger warning on this video, but it is designed to help somebody. So over the past couple of weeks, I've spoken to about a dozen business owners, most of which were in real estate, whether they're a realtor or a broker or a investor, who are not doing well in their business. Financially, things are just not happening. As a result, they're angry, mad, stressed, anxiety, panic, depressed. All these types of feelings are coming in. And I just want to let you guys know that there are some of these people that are just taking the hits and moving forward. And then some of these other people, they're really like melting down. I learned about somebody yesterday who's no longer with us. Sadly, I did not know him personally. And somebody else yesterday who was having a really hard moment mentally that needed some help. And I reached out to him and he's doing okay now. He's fine. He's going to be fine. But you know, he was going through it. And what I want to do is I want to share with you really quick some advice that was given to me that's worked for me over the last 2 years as I have went through the process of being an entrepreneur. So when I made the decision to become a real estate broker and own my own brokerage, I had to go back to real estate school and get a broker license. So first you go to real estate school, you get a realtor license, and you want to become a broker, you go back and get a broker license. So it's another exam, you have to go through another course and what have you. So everybody in that class is an experienced realtor, at least 2 years. And when I was in the class and I was sitting there in the classroom, the teacher said, hey, has anybody ever read this book? The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. By the way, that could be for real estate anybody, really for business owners. And I think they actually recreated this book to match any industry. But it's called The Miracle Morning. And to my surprise, I looked around the room and like almost everybody raised their hand. I was like the only guy that didn't raise their hand. And I was like, okay. Now, to be honest, I'm gonna be real. I thought it was kind of silly because I'm like, no, I don't need to read a self-help book. I don't need self-help books. You know, I could pull myself up by the bootstraps, and I got this book. That's a Bible, right? And so then the teacher asked everybody in the room, what does the book teach? And the book teaches an acronym, which is known as SAVERS. 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 And everybody in the classroom, except for me, was able to repeat back to the teacher the acronym SAVERS and everything that those letters stood for. And that is this. S, silence. A, affirmations. V, visualizations. E, exercise. R, reading. And S is scripting or journaling, right? And so I thought that was kind of hokey and kind of silly, and I completely disregarded what they were doing in this room because I just didn't need it. At least I didn't felt I needed it at the time, right? And so I would go on and I would get my brokerage license and I would pass the brokerage exam and I would start my own brokerage and build my own team. And you know, the sky's the limit. I was going to build my team to 10 agents, to 100 agents, and I was going to scale that thing, slap a franchise on it, and sail into the sunset, right? Wrong. That's not what happened. And so, of course, I set out with the best of intentions to build a business, and I was hit with all the same challenges that every real estate broker gets into. And of course, eventually, I ended up picking up this book, and I ended up reading it and applying the acronym to my own life, and it helped. But let me just point something out. Is there any business on planet Earth where people had the foresight to know that people would get in, they would experience something great, make a lot of money, have everything good to say about it, but suddenly a market shift would change that person's experience and perspective about the entire business, put them into a headspace of being all messed up. And so they wrote a book to self-help them to unscrew their head. And the book is also a recruiting tool to get people into their team, to unscrew their head during the downturn and recruit them to their team. Has there ever been a book like that? And so, no, I don't think there's a book quite like this one, which does make this book a little bit special. And so I'm going to give you the cliff notes so you don't have to go and read the book unless you want to. But the Miracle Morning is a morning routine that helps you start the day right so you can be adjusted to take on whatever the day gives you later on. Think of it as like preparing for a battle or preparing for a fight, preparing for a big event, right? Nobody just steps onto the playing field unprepared. Nobody just steps into the ring ready to take on an opponent without being prepared, right? Nobody steps onto center stage to sing a song without first rehearsing that song. Nobody goes and tries to do a slam dunk a basketball without first stretching, right? So you have to start your morning off right. Now, my morning actually starts the night before. The night before, what I will do is I always take a shower because I like going to bed feeling good and clean, right? And I always take my phone and I plug it in across the room. The reason why I plug it in across the room is because I don't want to be tempted to look at it at night because it will keep you up at night. Guys, come on, you know that's true. Now, with the phone plugged in across the room, I lay down, and if I have trouble sleeping, I just pray. I pray. I try not to think about the things I got to do tomorrow. I try not to think about all the bad things that went wrong today. I try not to think about what's going on next month. I just pray. Praying helps you fall asleep faster, sooner. In the morning, when the alarm goes off, you pop up and you walk across the room, you turn off the alarm. This is designed to help you not hit the snooze button, right? Because if it's next to you, you hit the snooze and you just roll back over and you snuggle. No, you pop up, you turn off the alarm, it helps you get up, it helps you get out. Also, the night before, you should have set out your sneakers, socks, shorts, and shirt because you want to grab that stuff, not run around looking, oh, where's my shirt, where's my shoes? No. You set that stuff out the night before so you can grab it and go, so there's no excuses, and you don't disturb your spouse because she wants to sleep in. So you get up, you get out, because you are about to go and tackle your workout. That's one of the next steps. So you grab your stuff, you get out of the bedroom, you go and you pick yourself up a giant glass of water. Huge. See how big it is? Put it next to my head. Boom. Huge. And you pound it. You don't sip it, you pound it. You bottoms up. Pound that water because you need to hydrate immediately. When you go to sleep at night and you sleep about 8 hours or so, whatever it is, during that time frame when you sleep, you actually dehydrate. So when you wake up, you're dehydrated or some level of dehydration. So you're going to replenish your water immediately. That is the first thing that you're going to do. After you replenish your water, you're going to put your workout clothes on and you're going to get ready to take the next step. So with your workout clothes on, while your entire family is sleeping, you're going to make a decision. Some people go right to their devotions and Bible reading and prayer and what have you, and other people just jump right into the exercise. Personally, I like to jump into the exercise. The reason why is because usually the first 5 minutes of waking up, I'm still a little bit tired and I still start making excuses. So I find that if I go to the Bible first, I'm still tired and I'm not that focused, my mind's not dialed in. But if I go and I do the exercise first, that wakes me up. And usually after the 5 minute mark, going 6-7 minute mark, I noticed, and I've tracked this before, that I will be much more alert and awake when I've made the decision that, okay, I'm going to go get my run in. I'm going to go get my lifting in. I'm going to go get jujitsu in, whatever it is. So I personally decide to go and do the exercise first. Notice, you don't have to do the acronym in order, SAVERS. You can do it in any order you want as long as you get it done first thing in the morning. The mistake a lot of people make, when you do the exercise, I highly recommend that you set 30 minutes on the clock and you bust it out from a medium to heavy rate with 30 minutes on the clock. Here's where people fail. They get in the car and they drive to the gym, 30 minutes. They get to the gym and they talk or get ready for 15 minutes. Then they finally start their workout. That's like 45 minutes to an hour. They're done with their workout. They talk to someone for 15 minutes. And then they get back in their car and they drive 30 minutes. Guys, that's a recipe for failure. The amount of time that you've just put into that was not nearly worth the benefit or value of anything. In fact, what you're doing is the amount of time you're taking is you start creating reasons to not go to the gym. You start making excuses like, oh, I really don't have the time. Oh, my morning was rushed. Oh, there's traffic. Oh, I can't get to the meeting on time. All these things. That is a recipe for failure. Do not do that. Instead, put 5 minutes on the clock, stretch, and then get 30 minutes of hard workout in. And there's always somebody that makes an excuse and they say, oh, I don't have really the time to even do that. Bro, take your phone and put a timer on your phone. It's called stopwatch. Just take your iPhone and type in, search for stopwatch, okay? Push the start button and let the stopwatch go for 5 minutes. Inside those 5 minutes, I want you to do as many burpees as you can for only 5 minutes. I guarantee that right around the 3rd minute, you're probably gonna pass out. So don't tell me that you don't have time to work out. Don't tell me that you don't have time to take care of your heart or your mind and get some sweat equity in, okay? Now, if you're at the gym and you're doing your workout and you're extremely stressed out and from whatever happened the night before or something you're going through now, some of the things that I do to help me to alleviate stress while working out, to help me push out the distractions, is I'll repeat things in my head over and over and over again. Things that are very positive. Things like, negative thoughts will pop up in my head while I'm on the treadmill or while I'm lifting something, and I'll immediately recognize those negative thoughts and I'll start pushing them out, and then I'll start reminding myself of affirmations, right? Affirmations. There's different types of affirmations. There's things like, I like to say like, I'm a child of God, or I'm a prince of the king, or, Jesus has already won, or Jesus is enough. I like that one. Jesus is enough. I like saying things like, my purpose is to love God and glorify him forever. I say things like, Lord, even if you gave me everything, or even if you took everything away, I still belong to you. These are things that I'll repeat in my head. I'm getting a little personal right now. These are private things that I repeat in my head, and I'm sharing these with you if you're going through a hard time and you're having a hard time with stress or anxiety and you're going through a negative market cycle like a lot of people are experiencing right now, and it's around the holidays. These are the things that I'll repeat in my head. These are the affirmations that I'll do over and over again. So you can see we've now knocked out exercise and affirmations. That's 2 of the letters of the acronym SAVERS, SAVERS. Exercise and affirmations. Then I'll leave the gym, or I'll either come back home or I'll stay over at the gym or wherever I'm working out, depending on where the sun is in the sky and what time it is during the day, is what I do next. If the sun is coming up and the weather's absolutely beautiful, what I will do is I will do grounding or earthing. Guys, I'm not here to debate as to whether or not it works. I honestly don't know if it works, but there's some like real science, and you can go ask Google or ChatGPT and some other people if it works. It says it does, but either way, you take your socks off, you put your bare feet on the ground. That's the dirt, the grass, the sand, the ocean, and you put your feet on the ground and you face towards the sun if the sun is out, and you stay there and you stand in silence. This is your meditation time, earthing and grounding time. During this time, I will stand in silence. I will focus and control on my breathing. I'll feel the sun's radiation and warmth on my face and on my body. And I'll start either praying to God, or I'll start repeating gratifications, things I'm grateful for. Now, obviously this is very personal, and I'm going to probably leave this off this video, but you'll just start talking about all of the things that you are thankful for in your life. The most tiniest things and the biggest things. One of the things that I like that I will share with you is I'll thank God for the sun that predictably rises every single day in the east. No matter what's going on in life, like clockwork, He is in control, and He has set that sun in motion to rise up regardless of what you're going through, and to send out that warmth. And so you feel that warmth and that radiant energy on your face, and you know that it comes from somewhere. And it doesn't come from you, it doesn't come from within, it comes from Him, right? The Creator. And so that's one of the many gratifications that I will speak either to myself in my head or out loud. So notice, we're in silence, right? We're practicing grounding, we're practicing earthing, we're practicing meditation. We've done silence, we've done affirmations, we've done exercise, right? So now, once we're finished with that, what I will do is I will probably take this time to segue into Bible reading, prayer, devotion, and so on. Bible reading, prayer, and devotion for me is pretty short. You know, less than 10 minutes, something like that. I read a passage. I don't get too deep into it. I'll pray before and ask the Lord to show me what He's trying to show me through this passage. I'll read the passage. Sometimes if I have time, I'll stop and I'll read like the study notes. If you have a really good study Bible, I recommend the Reformation Study Bible. They have like the best study notes. And usually by the time that I'm finished reading the study notes in the Bible, I'm in a rush to get to my next spot. One little pro tip: if you're doing your meditation and grounding and facing the sun in a spot that's private, very awesome pro tip. If it's private, I highly recommend doing breath work. You can Google YouTube some videos on Gary Brecka breath work and Wim Hof breath work. The reason why that I say that if you're in a private spot is because honestly, when you do your breathing exercises, it looks kind of weird. And if there's like somebody out walking their dog or like people walking by, they're going to think that you're like weird or hyperventilating. It becomes distracting. But there have been situations where like I've been private and no one's been around, and I can actually get really deep into my breath work, and it's super, super beneficial. I actually have a YouTube video on that. If you're interested, just DM me. I'll send you the link. But I actually teach like the kindergarten lesson on how to do the breath work. So by this point, you can see that we're almost finished doing all the letters of the acronym. SAVERS, SAVERS, silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scripting. So we have 2 more. We have visualization and scripting. So by this time, you have left your workout, you've left your devotions, you've left your meditation, you've left your earthing, and you are probably headed back home to jump in the shower. In the shower, you will do your visualization. In the shower, you can also repeat your gratifications. A lot of people do visualizations differently. I find that worldly people will visualize Lamborghinis and money, and they try to manifest destiny, this nonsense, total garbage. Throw that out. That doesn't exist. You are worshiping the creation. Instead, focus on the creator. It's where the creation comes from. And so in the shower, you will visualize things that are important to you. I like to visualize being happy with my wife. I like visualizing my daughter growing up and having a beautiful marriage and a wedding. I like to visualize my grandchildren. I also like to visualize walking hand in hand, side by side with my Savior, Jesus Christ, in the kingdom one day, whether it be here on this earth or whether it be in heaven or whether it be on the next earth. I like to visualize what eternity will look like. It gives me hope. It refocuses on what I'm really here for, which is to love God and glorify Him forever. And inside the shower, I will visualize these things, and that's what keeps me grounded and keeps my mind healthy and focused on the things that really matter. By this time, we're pretty much already wrapped up, and I admit the last one is probably the hardest one, and that is scripting or journaling. Guys, I've never journaled. I've never scripted. I don't like it. To me, it's boring. I'm not good at it. I don't practice it, and anything you don't practice, you're not going to be good at. But I will tell you this, that most successful people, highly successful people, we're talking about peak performance coaching type of people. We're talking about Tom Brady's. We're talking about the Donald Trumps. We're talking about anybody who's achieved super high level success always has done some type of level of scribing or scripting. So journal and what have you. So I don't do that, but I recommend that you do. So if you are going through a hard time, whether you're in business, the real estate business or not, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, if you're going through a hard time, I do recommend that you follow the morning routine that's scripted in this book, that you follow some of the advice that I gave you on these videos. I think it will benefit you, whether it's biochemically or physically or just mentally and emotionally. All these things I just shared with you will benefit you. They do work, okay? They call this biohacking. But there's something else way more important. I want you to know this, that all of these things, when you put into motion and play, even if things do come back together for you, even if you're already performing at a high level and you just do this so you can just advance yourself, so you can become more optimized, or if you're not performing at a high level and you're going through a hard time and you're just doing this to help keep your head above water and to feel better, it works, but it's always temporary. You will be faced again in the future with a negative down cycle, with another challenge. It's always going to come back to haunt you. It's a fact. It's a fact of life on this planet. So put your hope in things that are eternal. Not only should you exercise these morning routines, but you need to look to Jesus Christ. Put your faith in Him. He will not let you go.